Yeah, hello and welcome back to the shop. It's getting a little bit warmer outside, a little bit warmer out in here. So hopefully we can get this cleaned up and completed soon. So last time we were here, we glued up the front pull slash stop. Let me show you how that works. We've got the draw pull is a little bit longer than the sides itself. And so, boom, can't go any farther past there. On the inside, it's going to be very hard to see. Let's see if I get the light to show it. The drawer does not go all the way to the back. And if you remember correctly, before the pull was put on there, the drawer would sink into the carcass itself. And it was designed that way, so that way if the side does expand or contract, and this way, because of the way it's done, it should expand up and down, not side to side, but just in case, the back will not interfere with the hitting. It'll be caught right there. So the next step is to put on the inside a like above the level of the drawer. There's going to be a couple of cleats that a shelf will sit in, and then eventually there'll be a lid on top, but that shelf will be where everything gets stored on the inside of that. But I'm going to make some cleats that'll go around there, so that way they'll fit right above the drawer level. The thing is, they've all got to be about the same. They've all got to be about the same size, so that way, because I'm going to use the base as my reference spot. So I want them to be the same level off the floor, which means they have to be the same dimension all the way through. So that way, when the top goes in, it'll be there. And I've got some cheap material here. This is a piece of pine I've had sitting around. It's pretty ugly, but there's not going to be a whole lot of weight on that. So I don't need anything too nice. And you're not going to see it because I have this old piece of leather that I bought years ago for making. Actually, you know what? I made the strap out of that same leather, among other things. But this will go on the shelf. So I don't really care what the shelf looks like because I'm going to cover it with the leather, so that way that will be the base of the shelf. So that's it. Right now, I am making the cleats, and I figure if you're watching me because you like to see me toil with hand tools, you will enjoy seeing this. What I have here is a carriage. It's a thicknesser, if you will. The board in the middle I've taken my time to make that really flat. I have got these two sides here that'll fit my 4 and number 5 planes with very little wiggle room. And then on the inside, I have these strips, and I have them in all bunches of different sizes, and they're pretty much the same. Like this one is 1/4 of an inch. I do have it marked. That one says number 3, and that's so I know where to put it in here. Not that it makes too much of a difference, but I want the consistency of knowing it's all there. And at the very front is a planing stop. So we are going to put that in here very, very tightly. And doesn't necessarily have to be perfectly 1/4 of an inch thick. I just randomly went with something that I thought would work. It's going to be enough so that way, tolerance-wise, I can get a shelf in there and just going to sit on top of these, and it's much, much thicker right now than what it needs to be. So I think I'm going to have to get 2 straps out of that, but I want them all to be the same thickness. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm more worried about a consistent thickness than the specific thickness. So I'm going to take a plane, and it just goes through. And I don't know if you heard that. It's skipping right here. It's going. Hold on. See. You hear it gets quiet right here because the wood around it is high and it's coming down to that spot. So the plane is hitting, missing in this area, and then hitting again. And I'll just show you what it looks like at this point. Like right here, that's where it's been missing. I don't know if you can, let's see if I get a little light on that. Yeah, this area is not plain, but this area is not quite like glass, but not far off. And what'll happen is as I go, I'm just going to keep taking that shaving. Just going to keep cleaning. Okay. Before I'm almost finished. I could hear that one was a little bit of a lighter cut, and it's all coming down. What'll happen is these pieces. Let's look at the bottom of the plane for a second. If you can see the plane blade, where's my pencil? This will be easier to show. I don't want to put my metal knife, but the plane does not go all the way side to side. The plane, there's about 1/4 of an inch, if that, there, and 1/4 of an inch right here. And what's going to happen is this is going to sit on that, and it's going to get to a point where it will not plane anymore. Just meaning the I am down to thickness. So I had to take a lot of time making these, so that way when the time came, I have an equal amount on both sides. We're going to send that out a little bit further. I think I still got a little bit to go, but got some nice shavings. This is a nice sharp plane, which is a joy, a complete joy to work with. And I have to. So I just took this piece. I just took this piece off a burn pile. I don't know, it's a scrap from something else somewhere laying around, and I don't know if you can hear it. It's catching here. This side is all down, and we are just about there. I think that was it. It didn't take any shavings. So at this point, I have a piece, without really futzing and looking at lines, that is consistently thick all the way around. Like I said, it's designed to be 1/4 of an inch thick. Whether it's 1/4, whether it's 3/16 or 5/16 doesn't really matter to me. But that's my 1/4 inch chisel, and that's pretty accurate. I got a pair of calipers around here somewhere, but not out. But I just thought you'd like that. Put that back. Okay. I just thought you'd like that demonstration. That's my thicknesser. If you can see on here, I've got my face mark and edge, so I know when the time comes I'm going to rip it down. I'm thinking about going like 3/8 of an inch, so that way I have a good glue surface. Got to make sure it's all the same. And once again, I can use another one of these sets. I could make it just a perfect square, and that would probably work, but I want to have a little bit more gluing area. That's what we're up to. That's what we're up to now, is that this piece is going to, I think it's cedar. You just got distracted there because I can smell it from the planing. I'm going to rip these down to a consistent length, consistent width, and then measure it. We'll fit it to the inside here, so that way I have a little bit of clearance above the top of the drawer, so that way that drawer will work perfectly. The shelf will go on top, and so the shelf, just to give you a so that way you know where we're going. This piece is very wonky. Got this knot, so I'm pretty much going to try to use this area and just get rid of that. But first things first, I'm going to plane it down so that way I have a flat side, much thicker than what I need. So I'll take that down, and depending on how much room I have, I'll have to measure it with my ink bottles that are going to be stored in there. Make sure they don't raise up too high. I'm probably going to put a little bit of a rabbet on the bottom side, so that way when it's sitting here, it'll sit down and cradle a little bit instead of just sitting right on top. But I haven't quite decided. That'll be more of a game time decision. But that's my thicknesser. It's for hand tool woodworking. So that way, if I was making a bunch of spindles or slats, or if I had something where I needed to have very precise thicknesses, That's how you do it. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon, at least sooner than the last time, I hope. Bye-bye.